Fairy Tail fans, Hiro Mashima has blessed us with a new chapter of Fairy Tail, Baseline Fairy Tail, a bonus chapter commemorating the release of Fairy Tail 100 Years Quest, which comes out July 7th, 2 days from this video's release. And oh boy, I am excited, and it looked so nice seeing the characters of Fairy Tail being drawn in Mashima's art style again and not the art style that is in 100 Years Quest, despite me really enjoying that art style as well. But it just feels so nostalgic, especially after Eden Zero has concluded and Mashima is drawing these characters in a full chapter for the first time in years, outside of that crossover chapter from his Heroes one-shot. But before we jump into this really fun chapter, don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell for updates on future videos. Really helps and shows you guys enjoy the content I make here on the channel and shows you want to see more. And also, if you want to help support the channel more directly, go and check out my Patreon, link in the description down below, where I've updated things as now I want to try and do more live watch parties on Patreon, whether it be watching anime like the 100 Years Quest anime when it comes out, or chapters for other manga that I don't cover on the channel, alongside access to my Patreon-only Discord server, shoutouts for future videos, and even early access to videos up to a week early that are chapter reviews. So I've got a lot of stuff planned for the Patreon, so you guys will not be disappointed, and I'm going to make sure the Discord server is as fun as possible. But with that out of the way, let's jump right into this brand new bonus chapter of Fairy Tail. With the chapter starting off with a nice color page of Natsu and Happy looking at the job request board, looking at the 100 Years Quest job application. Natsu and Happy are prepared to take on the 100 Years Quest. With the color page of Fairy Tail giving us Team Natsu, and the title of this chapter is The Path You Believe In. And man, it's just so nice seeing these characters in Mashima's art style with the coloring. It's so nice, I love it. It feels so nostalgic in a way. And yeah, based off this first page, this takes place right at the end of Fairy Tail, before the very last chapter with Lucy's gala for her book, and showcases us how Natsu ended up taking on the 100 Years Quest and getting approval for it. So we'll go on and see what happens now. So we are cutting into Fairy Tail as Makarov says, "No, out of the question, I can't let you go on the 100 Years Quest," with Natsu and Happy being shocked as to why that is. Mira joins in and says Natsu's not S-Class and that's why he isn't qualified to accept the job, despite Natsu saying he's good enough to be S-Class, and that is true. However, there are rules when it comes to these guilds and how these quests are taken up. So you gotta have the ranking in order to take on these incredibly difficult quests. Mira goes on to give us a brief rundown of the quest system, where we have S-Class quests, SS-Class quest, Decade quests, and then the 100 Years Quest, which is something that no one has been able to accomplish in over 100 years. And Makarov says, "You see how it is, you ain't ready." Natsu pouts, but then, like the cheeky bastard he is, he just swipes the job request and just says, "Then I'll just do it anyway," as it shocks everybody in Fairy Tail as he bolts out the guild, with a really funny montage of panels where the stress from this causes Makarov to lose the rest of his hair. Man, sometimes I just miss Fairy Tail levels of humor with how ridiculous it can be, and stuff like this always cracks me up. Makarov then orders everyone in Fairy Tail to go after Natsu and get the request back, with ERZA leading the charge, telling all members to assemble to capture Natsu and Happy. As it then cuts to Magnolia's shopping district, where Lucy is trying on new outfits for the gala, giving her the prize for her book, with Wendy, Levy, and Carla being there to basically tell her which dresses look good for her to wear at the gala. As, yeah, Lucy won a prize, this is where the last chapter of Fairy Tail comes in. But Lucy cries and laments, saying, "Yeah, I won the award, but my book's not selling whatsoever," which is kind of funny, despite her literally achieving her dream and being an award-winning author. But it's not selling, which is crazy. But then Natsu just barges into the store and runs past Lucy and the girls, with ERZA chasing right behind him, wondering what kind of mischief Natsu has gotten himself into again. With ERZA telling them in anger, "You come too, we're going to capture Natsu and Happy and we need everybody's help." With Gagio and Lily coming by stating, "Come on Salamander, you're not even following the rules of your own guild." But Levy notices Gagio and calls him over. But she stops and says, "Never mind." As we get a nice, beautiful panel of Levy just stating, "I guess I can wait until tomorrow to tell him about the baby." So I like that this is also bringing us the fact that Levy was going to tell Gagio earlier, but decided to wait till like the gala to give him the news, which again, wholesome. I love that this ship happened, and it's just really cute. We cut to a little bit later, as Natsu and Happy are still running from the guild, with Natsu wondering, why the heck is everybody coming after us? As Happy's like, bro, what are you talking about? Are you in your own little world? You just stole the 100 Years Quest request. Why do you think they're angry? But Happy says, look, Natsu, why don't you just forget about it? You know they'll do that to us as punishment. To this day, I have no idea what that is, and it infuriates me to the point where I want to know, even if it's something very stupid. Natsu thinks it over and says, no, I'm going to do the 100 Years Quest. In that instance, Gray and Juvia point up and chase after Natsu, telling him to hold on. Gray does the ice make floor as Natsu and Happy slip. However, Natsu does something that I didn't expect and lights his head on fire and just headbutts the ground with a burst of flames. As Gray's like, wait, what kind of flame wielding is that? As Natsu tells Gray to butt out, as the two of them clash once more. And I like how we got this subsequent panel montage of every time Natsu and Gray clash, more and more of Gray's clothing just gets ripped off with each impact. I think Mashima missed doing this gag and drawing it himself and just went all out with this comedic timing. As Natsu's like, where the hell did your clothes go? As Gray calls out to Juvia to help and use her water magic, but she collapsed on the ground after seeing Gray's Excalibur, if you will, and his collapse on the ground. With Natsu and Happy running away again, with us getting some panels of Kana, Lazana, Elfman, Wakaba, and Mako also looking for Natsu and Happy. Same with Romeo, with Natsu and Happy hiding away in a corner. And Natsu says, okay, let's fly and get out of here. But the next page has me laughing so hard because it's literally all the Dragon Slayers flying up into the sky. Gaju with Lily, Carla with Wendy, but Laxus is in the air with Freed holding him up as if he was the cat. And Natsu's reaction is like, Freed, you're Laxus's cat? And as the comedy keeps piling on, someone comes in. It's the man, the myth, the legend, Ichiya himself, wondering what's Natsu doing there. We're also wondering what Ichiya is doing as well. And he just says, I'm just taking a stroll like the hunk I am. It's then that Evergreen and Big Splo show up and tell Ichiya to hold on to Natsu. But then Natsu and Happy just walk right past him as it was easy to get away from Ichiya and he wasn't even trying. He just keeps posing. We'll then see a lot more members of Fairy Tail in quick montages looking for Natsu until finally ERZA catches up to him. And I just love this panel of ERZA staring menacingly at Natsu as him and Happy shit their bricks. And Natsu does probably one of the smartest things he's ever done in the series and calls out Jalal's name to distract ERZA as ERZA just looks over and another funny panel happens where it's Ichiya dressed up as Jalal. Oh my god, he says, Ichiya is here for your pleasure. You will be judged by the 7 perfumes. With ERZA just kicking him into the stratosphere, being like, what the hell are you even thinking, Ichiya? But then she notices that Happy and Natsu just ran away once more. I swear, Mashima is doing the best he can to bring in almost every single gag that we've seen in Fairy Tail in this one chapter, and I freaking love it. I think he just missed drawing Fairy Tail at this point, and it really shows with how he's drawing all the characters. We then see Happy and Natsu running away towards Lucy's house as she's shocked to see him at her window. And she quickly tells them to get out and is wondering what they did this time. Natsu then tells Lucy to bring out Cancer to give them a disguise for a quick escape, with one of them just being the bald Natsu and Happy with an afro, as Natsu just punches Cancer into the stratosphere. Lucy states that she has her award ceremony tomorrow, and Natsu says, oh yeah, I want to go too, and Lucy says, you're gonna have to dress up, you know. As then ERZA pops in at her window and says, found you, as Natsu and Happy just bolt away again, with Lucy just smiling, stating, always such a nuisance. She really does enjoy Natsu's company. You cannot tell me that these two aren't hooking up on the side. Headcanon, I know, but I'm convinced it is canon until disproven. You cannot stop me. We then get an image of the Dragon Slayers in the sky looking for Natsu as Wendy spots Natsu and Happy. As she says, Natsu, we found you, and then Wendy does the most 0 to 100 thing It instantly goes Dragon Force right off the bat and unleashes a Sky Dragon's roar on Natsu and Happy. They dodge, but they somehow hit Ichiya and destroy an entire neighborhood block. As Kana scolds Wendy, stating, "You went overboard." And she even says, "The rest of us are really rubbing off on you, huh?" As Wendy is kind of embarrassed over what just happened. Honestly, yeah, the fact that she spent like, what, 2 full years? 2.5, almost 2 full years with Fairy Tail, and only now she's getting the habit of destroying shit everywhere she goes, I still find hilarious. It shows just how much of a big family they are with everyone's bad habits, primarily destroying stuff and going 0 to 100 in instant, even for the most mundane of things, is rubbing off on the youngest of their guild. So I just find that fun and adorable. Natsu and Happy go back home, saying this is their only hope right now, but as they enter, we got a full page of ERZA sitting there in her clear heart armor, in the chair, staring menacingly at Natsu and Happy, waiting for them. And this is the first time we actually see the inside of Natsu and Happy's house, I believe. I think one of them is like Lucy's, like a big board with pins, a dress, a maid outfit, I believe, an ERZA doll that looks demonic, the king's crown I just noticed, a bunch of empty food. Man, Natsu's a freaking slob. I knew this, but wow. And a trophy. That's all I could spot right now. But yeah, Natsu not exactly the best. I think I know why he stays at Lucy's house so much. He just cannot live in his own place anymore. But yeah, Natsu and Happy shit themselves and try bolting out the door. But it's revealed that Fried actually put up an enchantment or a Jujusiki right off the bat. And Natsu says that's fighting dirty. And ERZA states menacingly, "And what do you think you're doing breaking the guild's rules?" Natsu says, "I just decided to go on the 100 Years quest," with ERZA stating you can't. Natsu says, "Yes, I can. We won't know until I try." With ERZA asking the question, "Why are you so desperate to go on this quest?" As Natsu smiles, stating, "Doesn't the thought of going on an adventure with everybody that nobody's pulled off yet get you all fired up?" ERZA acting, "Wait, what do you mean everyone?" As they just named, basically everybody that we see on 100 Years quest. Gray, ERZA, Wendy, Carla, and Lucy, and the 2 of them. ERZA softens up a bit, and Natsu even says, "Gramps told us to follow the path we believe in, right? I believe this quest will make us all stronger." He is right, but yeah, this is a nice callback to like chapter 2 of the manga, where Makarov just states to the guild, "Follow the path you truly believe in. That is what it means to be a fairy tale wizard." As ERZA is connecting through telepathy with Warren to Makarov, as yeah, that's what he said, with Makarov looking down really quick, but realizing his own words. We then cut to after the awards ceremony, which is basically the night right before we go off on the 100 Years quest, where Lucy is being carried back to her room by Natsu, as she is plastered, telling Natsu to carry her. With ERZA, Gray, and Wendy being right next to them, walking everyone home, with Gray also being naked once more. Honestly, I'm surprised Wendy is not traumatized at this point with Gray's dripping habit. But just as everyone is beginning to part ways, Makarov rolls up in his wheelchair, stating, "You have my permission for the 100 Years quest." As Natsu gets all excited and starts rubbing Makarov's head, saying, "For real?" And ERZA questions Makarov as to, "What made you change your mind? Are you serious?" And Natsu says they're going to have to fill Lucy in the morning, which, again, very last 2 pages of the manga. But Makarov tells them, "I have one condition. Follow the path you believe in as far as you can, and then come home safe whatever you do." As Natsu smiles at Makarov, and the very last page of the chapter is another image from the last page of Fairy Tail, where Team Natsu are going off for the 100-year quest, ending the chapter. Honestly, this was really nice, really wholesome. I'm glad we got this whole thing about how they got the 100 Years quest. It isn't super plot relevant in terms of the 100 Years quest, but it just felt like a really nice chapter of Fairy Tail that I missed. I miss all the guild interactions. Everybody was in this chapter. We had some really hilarious and long-running and classic gags for the series, filling in the gap before the gala and the last pages of the chapter. It was really nice, and honestly, I'm glad we got Makarov's reasoning for letting them take on a quest that they were basically not technically allowed to do, outside of maybe ERZA. But it was honestly very nice because, yeah, he did tell them to follow their own path. He does also acknowledge their strength. He's like, "You know what, fine. You can go do what you gotta do, follow your path, but come home safe no matter what." And I like that. It literally felt like Fairy Tail all over again. And even though I'm reading these new manga chapters, it was just really nice to have a chapter like this with the entire gang all together and just having a blast and destroying their own home city. I know the last part was a joke, but literally I still find it funny. But yeah, that was a special chapter for Fairy Tail to celebrate the airing of the 100 Years Quest anime. What did you guys think of this chapter? Did you like it? Did you hate it? Or did you laugh yourself for the majority of their chapter? I know I did, and I read this at work, and my co-workers thought I was insane. So yeah, who else embarrassed themselves in public by laughing to a comic? And also really quick, while I did miss seeing the Fairy Tail characters in this art style, it does very much show that Mashima drew this while he was finishing up Eden Zero because, like, specifically, Natsu and Lucy look very much like how he drew Rebecca and Shiki towards the end of Eden Zero, because the art style did change up over Eden Zero's whole run. And going back to the Fairy Tail character designs, it does show that he worked on Eden Zero for a long time, and that was how he set up his art style for a little while now. And we have Dead Rock, which has also alterations to Yakuto's design. Yeah, I still had a really good time. I missed Mashima drawing these characters, it felt so nostalgic. And I cannot wait for more Fairy Tail 100 Years Quest. I can't wait for the anime, and I can't wait to see what's going to happen next for Dead Rock, and what other series Mashima is probably going to end up doing, because he did say he was working on something new again. But yeah, leave your thoughts and opinions down below. Once more, like and subscribe and hit the notification bell for updates on future videos. Really helps and shows you guys enjoy the content I make on the channel and shows you want to see more. You know, the one gag I'm surprised Mashima did not do again is just a random moment of Lucy fan service for like no goddamn reason. Don't get me wrong, I don't need it, but I'm surprised that is the one gag that did not reappear in this entire one shot.